guys, John here with Survival Dispatch. And today I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about something that I've become extremely interested in, and I've been practicing a lot, doing a lot of work on it. As you guys know, I have a love and a passion for lock picking. You know, I love picking locks. I think it's a skill that a lot of people overlook. First, I want to say, you know, everything that you see here and always do, make sure you practice legally. But, you know, lock picking can be an extremely difficult skill to master. It can even be a hard skill to just pick up and pick simple locks. So, you know, there's different ways of picking locks. Everybody thinks it always involves, you know, picking a lock pin by pin, but there's multiple ways to bypass locks. And, you know, and one of the ways that I have gotten really interested in lately is using bump keys and bumping locks. When you find the skill and really start to get the touch, it is by far the quickest and best way to pick most locks that are on the market. So what I did was I went to Zero Day Gear, and I'll leave a link below. And I bought their key set. Now, you don't have to buy the large one. I bought the large one just because I wanted to test out how all their stuff worked. First of all, what I can say is they use factory keys. They don't use, you know, knockoff stuff, which is really nice. They grind them themselves, and they do a fantastic job. They're great products, so I would highly recommend this company. And like I said, they have tons of kits that you can get. But essentially what a bump key is it takes a standard key, which has different impressions and elongations that line up with the pins that allow the key to turn within the lock. What a bump key does is it makes them all even across the entire plane of the key. And what it is, and I'll show you guys a little annotation here of what it does. But when it goes into the lock, you're going to hit it with force, pushing all the keys up pretty much at the same time, while putting direct pressure to turn the key as well, hoping that when all the pins come back down, they'll almost bind just a little bit at the shear line, causing the key to turn, opening the lock. What I'm using here today this is technically one of Master's better locks. It's not like the cheap $5 lock. It's not one of those knockoff security locks. This is supposed to be one of their higher end locks. And as you can see, normal key, put it in, turn it, lock opens. So what I'll do now is I'll take a bump key. So the teeth are not cut the same on the key. So when I insert it, doesn't do anything. So that's the issue with bump keys, is they don't do anything if you don't use them correctly. And what you want to do, and this is where a little bit of time and skill in learning how to utilize bump keys correctly is the biggest thing. If you'll notice on this master lock, and I'll try to hold it for you here, there's a lot of play side to side and up and down in the key. So as you can see, that's all the play that there is in the lock. What you first have to do is you try to keep that key centered as possible. Okay, if it's off to one side or the other, up and down, it can cause those pins to bind before they hit the shear line or after they hit the shear line, or cause them not to jump at all, which is going to mean the lock is not going to open. So the first thing is when you put your fingers on here, you want to try to align the key as much as you can straight. Now, you can use a bump hammer. This is what's called a bump hammer. They come in different ways. It's just plastic. It's just a plastic hammer. You can use really anything. The end of a screwdriver, you know, a nylon hammer, anything like that will really work. All you're doing is just putting force on the key and hitting it. So it's definitely, you know, it's not rocket science here. There's some different flexible ones that can help on some locks, but you know, I'm just using a standard one, just showing you kind of how it works. So pretty much what you do is just orient the lock. And if this is a house lock, you know, you can turn your fingers over it. I'm trying to do this on camera here for you. So insert the key. Usually what most guys do is they'll try to pull it out about one tooth, so that when the key goes in, all the pins jump at the same time. So when you pull it out, all the pins right now are in the valleys of the key. So when it gets hit, boom, they all jump up at the same point. On most master locks, you don't really have to do that much. And what I'm trying to show you guys here, guys, is not how to break into any building. What I'm showing you is we think at times that we might have a cache or a storage locker or something, and we think that it's really secure because we bought this nice, $15, $20 master lock and put it on there. So, the thousands of dollars or whatever it might be, or the food and water that we put away is safe, when really all you need, is a bump hammer and, a couple smacks, and I just got into your storage unit that quick. And I'll show you guys once again. I'll take that same key. If I stick it in, it doesn't work, okay? But when I just insert it, take maybe 1 or 2 hits here, and sometimes it takes, a couple, just depends on the pressure and the lock. I will say as one thing, if it doesn't work after a couple hits, I always like to take the key out and just let the pins reset, start over. And, and every lock is a little bit different. Some like a lot of pressure and turning. Like a master lock, I find you have to have quite a bit of pressure, because if you ever just use a regular key on a master lock, you are actually the manual force that's turning it. It's much harder to turn the key as opposed to like a regular door lock, like on your house. But, just a couple simple whacks and boom, there you go. The lock's open. And this doesn't just work on master locks. It works on pretty much any lock. And that's what these key sets come into. So you get key sets like this. Man, that takes everything from quick set keys to Slage, door keys, American keys, and there's things like this ring right here and this key. All that this ring represents is all the different master locks. So you got M1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 10s, 17s. So there's all different kinds of master lock keys. For the most part, an M1 will open, I would say probably 75%. Your standard master lock, let's just leave it at that. Your standard master lock. So what I do is I keep a smaller set with me that has like a standard quick set key, a standard master lock key, and a couple others. And that gets you, through quite a few doors. And I have never used this illegally. I'm just letting you know that. I have used it because I've locked myself out of my house once, and I used a bump key. My buddy locked his self out of his house, and I used the bump key as well. And with practice, they can be extremely easy to use and quick. You can. There you go. What was that? 2 seconds. So they can be extremely quick, extremely easy to use. Now, some other accessories that you'll see on a lot of regular door handles. What you'll usually have to do is pull that key out, like I said, just one step, so that when you hit it, it goes in and it knocks all the pins up at the same time. The problem with that is once you hit it, you then got to kind of reset it with your hand, hit it again. If it doesn't open, you got to reset it, hit it again. What you can do is you can purchase little rubber O-rings like this, and they sell these at the same exact website, and they just go on, and what they do is when you put the key in now, it causes a little bit of resistance. So it's really almost pushing that key out all the way. But when you hit it, it's going to knock it in, boom, and then it's going to pretty much, as you can see right there, reset it. So what it allows you to do at that point is you can just hit it really fast, like that on most door handles, and it'll open it up. Now, on a master key like this, it's a really small key. These rubber O-rings don't work, and they're really not needed for a master lock. But on regular door handles, these can make your job a whole lot easier because you're not constantly having to reset the key after every single strike. You can literally just put it in and start hitting on it fast like that. And usually if it doesn't work after about 10 or 15 seconds, I'll take the key out just to reset all the pins, make sure they're all reset. Another tip is if you're trying to get into a lock that has been, I would say, like dormant for a long time. It might be a lock that's been on a storage unit for a year in the rain. A lot of times the pins inside can get corroded and kind of nasty. A couple squirts of WD-40 really loosens those pins up and lets them move within the channels a whole lot easier, making bumping a whole lot easier. But it's one of those things that it's an acquired skill and it takes a little bit of time to practice. I'll try to do it on camera here for you. But once you get it, it makes you realize at times how vulnerable some of your things are. I'll say things like, if you got quick set door locks on your front door, those are some of the easiest door locks to open. So if you think you're secure because, you know, hey, I used a padlock when I left for a vacation, within a couple of seconds, you know, somebody can be in your front door. I would say always as a security precaution, if you have quick set door locks, change them. Just change them. Put Slage. They're a whole lot better, more secure. As far as, you know, locks, Masters, they're okay. You know, there's definitely a whole lot better locks out there on the market, but these are what you see when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot. So that's what most people go with. You know, and the point of this video is to just say, you know, hey, this is a skill that, you know, it takes some time to master. But it also, I want it to show you that this lock is not impenetrable. Yeah, you can definitely cut it with bolt cutters, things like that. But I could very easily pick this lock, take everything out of a storage unit that I want, and put the lock back on it, and it would look like nobody had ever been there, you know, because the lock would still be perfect. So, you know, if you guys got any other questions with regards to bump keys or bumping, feel free to leave them below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, and until next time, be safe.